Thomas Mulcahy, Anthony Marrero, and Michael Sakara have all been found murdered and dismembered, all within a 60-mile radius of Staten Island. Authorities interview a friend of third victim, Michael Sakara, and she gives them a massive clue.
Michael introduced me to this man as Mark or John, some common name, and said he was a nurse at St. Vincent's.
It was a big deal because it would have helped them with the disarticulation of bodies, knowing human anatomy. It was important to us to investigate.
The detectives had me do a composite of the man that was sitting next to Michael that night.
The bartender describes a gentleman came in as a white male in his early 50s with light brown hair, and he's medium build.
We were able to distribute that to the media, that composite sketch, and it made all of the newspapers. It was a big deal in Manhattan. It made the New York Times, and it was being talked about. The media nicknamed him the last call killer because he would be at the bar at the end of the night when last call was happening, and he would be targeting people at the bar very late at night because they would be more vulnerable.
They are now looking for somebody who is professional, who is going to be able to hold his own in a conversation. You're dealing with somebody who is hiding in plain sight. He sits on the bar stool at the gay bar, and nobody thinks it's him.
I was on the subway one day, and this person's reading a newspaper next to me, and I see a picture of Michael, and they have this big thing, last call killer. And it was just horrifying. I can remember I just broke down in tears because he was a really decent person.
The New York Lesbian and Gay Anti-Violence Group put up a reward for information leading to the killer.
Police from the 5 different jurisdictions where body parts were found come together to form a last call killer task force.
More than 20 investigators were working on the task force. They let the community know that they were actively looking for this suspect. And they did go to a lot of the well-known gay bars in the area in an undercover capacity to see if they could get any information at all.
The police take the composite drawing that they had made, and they mailed it to every employee of St. Vincent's Hospital, hoping somebody would be able to come up with some information. And someone does.
The composite sketch led the task force to a male nurse at that hospital by the name of Mark Slayton. Mark Slayton even lived in the same Staten Island neighborhood where the purchases had been made by the killer.
I was just thinking, oh, we're going for beers. We're gonna go for beers. This is big. We're headed there. We're in the right direction.
We bring him in, interview him. If you've ever been to New Jersey, what type of car do you drive? Question his alibi, what were you doing on such and such a date?
Mark Slayton has alibis for all of the dates of the killings. The investigators on the task force take Mark Slayton's fingerprints to see if they match up with the fingerprints from the garbage bags that contain the body of the victim, Anthony Marrero.
While they wait to see if his prints match, police are forced to release Mark Slayton, but they keep him under surveillance. In the meantime, the task force runs through any previously unsolved crimes that might have the last call killer's marks, and they get a hit on a 2-year-old unsolved murder.
Almost 14 months before the murder of Thomas Mulcahy. A maintenance worker from the Pennsylvania Turnpike found a white male who had been folded into the fetal position and was placed in 8 layers of garbage bags and was disposed of in a large drum on the side of the turnpike.
He was not dismembered, but he actually was mutilated.